Welcome to our next conversation in this Inclusion 101 series. We will be focusing on partnering with schools as you continue to help build and support and maintain an inclusive environment for your child. My name is Johari Sykes-Ratliff and my partner, Carrie Cormier. We have developed this series specifically for you, and we are from the LRC, which is an NJDOE Office of Special Education project where we are focused on fostering the achievement of all students with disabilities, their families, and the educational professionals that work with them as they pursue the goal of increasing opportunities and improving educational outcomes in special education. Here are our various areas of support that you have access to across services and professional development, and our locations with the respective contact information. Today's professional development is brought to you by us at the LRC-South Center, located within Rowan University's College of Education. We have on site a production center in James Hall, room 1140, a resource library in 1128, and professional development opportunities in 1119. If you'd like to learn more about what we do here, please visit our website at go.rowan.edu/LRC-South. Today's agenda is that we will define school and family partnerships. We're going to discuss some tips to help build school and family partnerships throughout the IEP process. And lastly, we're going to explore the benefits of maintaining a strong partnership with the school. We always like to have this conversation about the norms of our webinar, and if we were in person, we would do the same. We're going to be focused on using strength-based language and demonstrate a growth mindset. Our goal is that we are operating in a space where we are focused on progress and learning and increasing our knowledge base while engaging in solutions-based and oriented discussions, having an open mind, so that we're able to reflect on what I'm sharing with you, and then hopefully at some point you'll be able to share with Carrie and I as we look for additional clarifications or support as needed. Also, we're going to stay focused on the topic, listening to one another and ensuring that all voices are heard. So although this is a webinar and you may be at home sitting behind your screen watching this, this is definitely a webinar that you can take with you, create a small group, and these would be the norms that you would be able to utilize as you go through it, and efforts to learn more about how to develop and maintain those partnerships with school as we seek to support our children that are going through the IEP process and beyond. So as a result of this video, families, caregivers, and educators will be able to identify the various school partners that you can engage with to support the child's attainment of special education services and identify ways to effectively communicate with the school partners. So before we start, I think it's always important for me to say that you, as a parent, if you are a parent listening, you are the expert on who your child is, how they may learn best, what some of their triggers may be, what their strengths are. And so we never want to remove the power that your voice has from developing whatever supports are needed for the child. You are critical to your child's success. And so when we look at the family, school, and community as three separate entities, we have to really be considerate of how we can develop partnerships to lend to providing your child with the support that they need to develop and learn and grow. So we have to define first what this partnership is and what it looks like. So the family, school, community partnership, this is a shared responsibility amongst all three entities. And this reciprocal process will take place whereas the school and community agencies and organizations engage with families in a meaningful and culturally appropriate way. And then the families are then taking the initiative to also actively support their child's development and learning. So the National Center on Safe, Supportive Learning Environments helped to structure this definition. Essentially, what this is telling us is that the process by which information and knowledge is shared between the school, community, and families must be reciprocal. There's a give and a take. So we are giving information, we are taking information, and we're doing this process all in a way where the goal is to make sure that we are meaningfully and intentionally crafting whatever supports are needed for the child to continue to grow and develop. The benefit of a partnership with the school is that children are able to achieve their maximum potential. The resources are shared that is going to improve the lives of everybody. The communication is increased, which will lend to improved student-teacher, resource support person relationships, and increase student achievement. If you are alone in your silo, the school has to operate with what they have. But if you're able to connect and they're able to connect with you, then we can create boundless opportunities for growth for the child. As I said, you are your child's best advocate. You know what they need. And so when you're able to participate in the communication process, children can achieve higher levels. I can myself reflect on not having the greatest relationship with a certain parent when I was a teacher in preschool, and I had a lot of difficulties with the child, not in terms of anything serious, but I just couldn't get past a certain point, and I was just like not understanding why we were stuck. And so hello, Jahari, talk to the parent and see, maybe are they seeing some of the same things you're seeing, or, why is this happening? So when I was able to have those conversations with the parent and take time to build trust and relationship, then I learned what some of the elements are that needed to be in place for me to push forward this child as they work towards attaining some of the goals that I set for them, but then also eliciting their voice and their perspective in what they wanted to work on, in addition to the parent sharing those things. So we saw improved student achievement. We saw communication with the parent increase. Again, trust, relationship building, that was all a process. But in me being able to have those relationships, the child directly was impacted. They then saw that my mom and my dad and my teacher are all on the same page, and I can't get away with one thing with one because the other ones are going to find out. So I'm going to be liable whether I'm at home or at school. And so the benefits of this partnership are tremendous. So we want to definitely make sure that we're bridging a gap to ensure that we're improving the lives of our children. School partners that you can connect with the teachers. You should be touching base with them regularly. They should be touching base with you regularly. Ask for assessment results so that you know where your child's progress is. You want to look at the baseline, which means the initial data, like so in September, this is where they were. Well, now we're in December. What progress has made? We want to also make sure that any services that the IEP directs are being implemented and that it's being implemented consistently. Another school partner to connect with is a specialist. We should be communicating regularly with them on the child's progress and meeting those specific goals. We want to communicate with the principal. If there are any questions or concerns, you want to escalate that to them. And you can also request that they contact you or connect you with the district special education department if so needed. And then with the district's special education department, they can assist you when you're not satisfied with special education services that are being provided or conversely not being provided. They can also answer questions about special education services that specialists and teachers aren't able to answer. And then lastly, New Jersey Department of Education would be a partner for you to communicate with if your child's legal rights are denied under FAPE or IDEA. If you're like, I need a reminder about these, what FAPE is and IDEA, we do have a video in the same series where we really go into depth about these two acts. You also have the right to file a formal complaint through NJDOE. So that's something to also be aware of. Tips for communicating with your school partners. You want to make sure that you have a point of contact and plan a regular check-in. So this could be the classroom teacher, you may have your child's case manager, whomever this person is, you want to have a regular check-in scheduled and have decided what the timeline is going to look like for meeting. What is the format? Are we having Zoom meetings? Is it face-to-face? Are you going to just email each other back and forth on a given date? But this needs to be a consistent check-in that you have. We want to create a school-to-home journal. They can go home from school, and then back home. This journal will be an opportunity for you to jot down any notes, concerns, highlights, great things you're seeing, as well as the school, so that it removes that let me call you on this date, or it's just a very informal process by which this tool is easily used to communicate, again, highlights, things to celebrate, and maybe even questions that you may have. Write down any questions or conversational points that you have before your meetings that you do have. You want to make sure that if you don't understand a response to your question in the meeting, ask them to rephrase or ask for clarity. Never just say yes, never just say no. You want to always be clear about what is being asked of you in regards to your student or your child, so that you're making an informed decision. Be open-minded, listen to others' ideas, and think about options before dismissing them. Keep focused on the needs of your child. That really has to be in the forefront of our decision-making, because again, our child's success is what we're striving to attain. Always fall back on the law and protecting your child's rights. The law is the law for a reason. And so it's something that we all have an obligation and legal requirement to abide by. So if you're confused or you're like, I'm not really sure, we can always go back to IDEA, which again is the Individuals with Disabilities Act, Education Act. And this law, it very much prescribes exactly what eligible children with disabilities are entitled to. It's your job to protect your child's rights. So always fall back on the law if you're ever in question. Then we have this video we would like to play for you.
Hi, I'm Linda. I have a 5-year-old son named Jonathan. When Jonathan was 15 months old, we kind of started noticing delays in his development. He wasn't walking yet. He had low muscle tone all through his body. And so the pediatrician recommended we contact our local infants and toddlers program. And then we began early intervention services with him. By the age of 3, and around the time we were transitioning to preschool special education, Jonathan was diagnosed with autism. He has a language delay, and he's been delayed because of the low muscle tone. Also, he's been delayed in his kind of gross and fine motor skills. Jonathan just turned 5. He's in a public school pre-K program. He's in a general ed class. He has supports and he has an aide in that class. But we really thought it was important to have that kind of social interaction and be around his typical peers. And that's been very important for him to help his language skills and to be able to learn really to have conversations and be able to interact with different people. I've had many wonderful partnerships with Jonathan's teachers and providers. The teacher that works with him now, his pre-K teacher, she's very dedicated. I think what's important to have a positive, trusting partnership with a teacher or a provider is to feel like they see your child the way you do. I think ultimately what's important is that you know, all the little things that make him unique and that make him special, all those things that we love about him, that they love that about him too. The times when I didn't have the opportunity to give my input on some of the specific needs my son has, that could be kind of incorporated into the services he gets. I felt excluded. Um, I felt that I didn't have a voice in that. That there was a kind of a predetermined plan for him that didn't reflect the needs that I expressed as a parent or my family, you know, our family expressed. As a result, I feel like I'm put in a position where I have to be, um, it's more of an adversarial position. So I have to speak up. And I don't like being put in that position. I don't like having to be like the bad guy. I don't like to have to be put in the position where I have to fight essentially for something that's really important to me, where I don't feel like I'm heard. It just kind of sours the process. You know, it's kind of that's been the outcome of that kind of situation. I learned to really value the teachers that take the extra time and planning to involve me. In order to have my voice heard, sometimes I need to do my own research. I need to put things in writing. I need to request things. I need to really kind of put myself out there in order, in some cases, to get the things that just to be heard, even, which is challenging. You know, looking ahead can be scary. Kindergarten scares me. Kindergarten, I know what is expected of children in kindergarten. It's a full day program, and there's a lot of expectations. But you know, as long as I'm confident that I have a teacher that's willing to support him and providers that will work together and will work with me, I think we can tackle anything.
So this mother's perspective is one that we all truly um, need to be considerate of in terms of how are we ourselves making sure that we are being a part of the decision making process. I find that most teachers are very welcoming and they want to hear your voice and they're like, tell me, how can I support your student? What can I do to support them in this goal attainment, or what are your personal goals? But sometimes there are teachers that I don't want to say are a little less hesitant, but it doesn't happen the way we want it to. And so that's when we have to be the ones to initiate those conversations. Because again, you may not be the expert about the content of what they're teaching. You may not be the expert on, how to read the IEP inside and out, but you are the expert on your child. And so in developing those trusted partnerships and engaging with the teacher for the benefit of your child, it's really important that does happen. So key takeaways: you are an equal member of your child's IEP team, and that's the law. Although you might not be a special education expert, again, you are the expert about your child. Your voice is important and your contributions are critical. The partnership with the school and family ultimately is what benefits the child. Thank you. All links and resources are provided for informational purposes. You can stay connected with us by hitting on this QR code, and references are all listed here. Lastly, connect with us through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and hope you enjoyed. Please continue to connect with us. Have a great day.